Have you ever thought about keeping chickens but didn't know where to start? Well, that was me 2 days ago. Today, I'm going to show you what I learned about keeping chickens in one day. Welcome to American Roots. When I went to buy the chicks, I thought, should I ask her if I need to bring anything to put them in? And then I thought, you know what? You need to bring something to put them in. So that was probably one of the very first things that I learned when handling baby chicks or any animal. Make sure that you have a place to put the animal when you go to buy it. First things I learned was how to sex the birds. We'll see if we're correct, but this was how we could tell. So the first thing is that their tail feathers are a little bit longer than the other birds. So when we had the chicks in with all of them, we could see that these ones had longer tail feathers. The next thing was when you pull out their wings, you can see how the end feathers are a lot longer at the tip of their wing than the feathers up at the top. That was a sign that these were chicks. Then finally, if you were to look, that was a little hole instead of like a knob in there. So we'll see if we're right. Another thing I learned was where to keep the chicks while they were this small, because they cannot go in that coop right now. We do not have the ability, to keep them safe in that right now. So we went and bought a bin, and I put the pine shavings in the bottom, and we got all of that. We put the pine shavings in the bottom and made sure that it was deep enough so that if water or something fell, that they would be not wet in it. So that was a good solution to keep them safe, and we just keep the top off. We don't want to keep them out back on the porch though, because a cat could get them. They could be in danger from some other animal, like 8 dogs or 2 neighborhood cats that we know of. So we don't want to keep them on the back porch just in case. I'm thinking about building a screen top to go around the edge, and it would just sit on top with some of the chicken wire that we had left. I learned very quickly about their food. I had bought this previously, thinking that chicken food was chicken food. I also was planning on getting older birds and not getting chicks, but the price was right on the chicks. So when I got them home, this was what I had. I learned very quickly that I needed to get chick mash. Chick mash is kind of the consistency of cornmeal, and it is made for baby chicks. I learned you need a place to put your chicken feed to keep it away from critters. The feeder was something that I didn't know about. I mean, I've seen them in other videos, but I didn't know when you're actually needing to feed little chicks, and I'd seen the really long ones, and I thought, oh, do I get a really long one? I settled on this round feeder with the little container, and I really am glad that I did that, because I only have 5 chicks. I don't need a giant feeder, and that would literally go the entire span of the bin if I had gotten the long one. So I'm really glad that I settled on the round little feeder. Each little chick has a seat at the table, as my mom says. I learned that chicks could drown And I had a subscriber tell me that if I put rocks in their dish, that it would do two things. It would keep them from going and getting their butts wet inside the dish. And when they run over the top, they're less likely to get their little butt wet, which means that they could then get cold and die. They can then get cold and die. They don't seem to like the rock in their water dish. Let's see if I take it out. See, he walked right through it. He went to the other one. I also realized this is helping me learn the deep bedding composting method, because I can lay down fresh wood chips, then fresh water. So I need to clean out their food quite often. So I might get a little perch or basket or something to keep their feeder clean. That way they can keep accessing their food. This allows me to get them fresh, clean bedding, so they're not walking around.
Chicken scratch. You just chicken scratched all in the stuff I cleaned. Look at you, chicken scratching in your food.
And this is wonderful for my compost. This will be great. I was looking for chicken droppings, so this is exciting. So I set this up. I put a little plastic box under the bedding and then put the food and the water on top of that to see if that maybe helps them not get as many wood shavings in their stuff. They can still reach the food. Now, the girl that I bought the chicks from, Kimberly, she had these little, like, cups, and I thought, that looks like the bottom of a water bottle cut off. That's a great idea. When we bought the other waterer, they didn't want anything to do with it. They wanted the ones that they seemed to be used to. So I just cut off the bottom of 2 water bottles, and that's what I ended up using for a waterer. I need to get some marbles. They didn't seem to like the rocks at all. They wouldn't drink out of it. So they have a lot more room to run and play having their food on one side of the bin. Happy chicks. I definitely like having their food up higher because it seems like they're not trampling near as much of the pine shavings in there. Another thing that I learned is when they sleep, they all huddle together and they don't wake up again until the light comes on. So that's kind of nice. Most of all, I've learned that chicken joy is contagious. Joe came home from work early so that he could see the chickens. You just cannot even tell how much love you're going to have for them until you get them. It's kind of like a baby. I didn't realize how much you could love something as much until I got these little babies. It is so awesome and so joyous for me to sit here and watch them And they've seemed like they've changed so much in 2 days. Maybe I'm just being a chicken mom. I don't know. But I learned a lot in the last couple days. It's been a super fun time learning with these little birds. Thanks for joining me. And until next time, we're praying that you're blessed. We'll see you soon.